Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lords of the Night. With me, as always, is the Lord of Pain, Ranting Monkey,
Hello.
and the Lord of Rubik's Cubes, SDA.
Hi, guys.
And our guest tonight, the Lord of the Hit and Runs, Clashing Ideals.
Hello.
And I'm your host,
nice.
Scribelight, the Lord of not getting enough sleep last night. I woke up at 2 a.m. So Lord of Insomnia. Yes, Lord of Insomnia. How are you guys tonight?
Well, I'm annoyed.
You're
Blair
annoyed?
White.
You mean you try
What's
to
up,
defeat?
Spunky?
Wait, you try to defeat Domino's Pizza?
Yeah, oh my God, the noise. You ass. Both Roaming Millennial and Blair White are streaming right now.
Yes.
Oh, I thought something actually happened.
And just
No,
and
it
just
takes
so
more than that to get
yeah,
annoyed.
just so our audience is aware, as we always do not go to either of those persons' streams and talk about tongue butter turtle caves. Don't
do it.
do it.
I think, didn't Roaming Millennial genuinely was not amused last time?
This is why I'm saying don't do it.
Did somebody do it to Roaming? I didn't know they did.
Yeah.
No, this is why I said don't do it.
Well, Sweeper Steven does it to everybody.
Yeah, he does.
Before we get too far into things, Monkey Dick, Jim Jones, movies, hit the like button. And if you like what any of us do, please, by all means, share our stuff because YouTube won't do it for us anymore. So our guest for the second attempt, and thankfully much more successful than last time, tonight is Clashing Ideals. Just for those out there who do not know who you are or what kind of content you make, what do you do?
I do comments. I guess I'm sorry, but political commentary, cultural commentary. A lot of time I'm on the fields. I go out in the field, ask people questions. I'm a Proud Boy, so I work for the Proud Boy magazine. So I do a weekly video for the Proud Boys.
What are the Proud Boys, just for those who aren't in the know?
So the Proud Boys is a group started by Gavin McInnes last year. The motto is "We are Western chauvinists who refuse to apologize for creating the modern world." So it's a fraternity, and it started by Gavin. It started off as a joke, but it blew up when Gavin didn't think that it would have. So it's different chapters, different regions, different levels. There's one first degree, second degree, third degree, fourth degrees, and then elders.
Is it a religion?
Religion of Bud, I guess.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
You're quite obviously black.
Yes.
I've heard Gavin is very racist. How does that work out?
Gavin is a belly flopper, so he will say what was in mind. So he's not racist per se. Like he liked black people. I met him before. He's actually a pretty cool guy. Like I tell people, like Gavin kids are mixed. They're not white. So he's a
that makes him a horrible racist. I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah.
If you have mixed kids, you're a bad racist.
Yeah, I think you're doing it wrong.
You're doing it very wrong.
I
Of course, being facetious, I've watched some of Gavin. I see where people can get that from the SJW side of it. But I wanted to ask you about your video that you did with, or that you did on Some Black Guy and Ysara Vera, because it was about the Proud Boys. That's what the whole thing was over, right?
Yeah. What Some Black Guy did, he went on like a 10-minute tangent of like, well, the Proud was out there and they was out there presenting, and that's why they're getting slammed. And he just kind of went in with the Proud Boys because I admit the Proud Boys are very easy to notice because we all wear the black and yellow Fred Perrys. I have one, and it was not true, and it was just slander. And one thing I was trying to warn him is Gavin is very rich and he will sue.
Nice.
So
what was it that the Proud Boys were doing? Was there a specific incident that pissed him off, or was he bitching in general?
It was a night to write. He was like, the Proud Boy was out there, and everybody was like, everybody CNN, MSNBC, the New York Times, LA Times, was all like, was the Proud Boys out there? And like, we wasn't out there. And I actually just got done with an interview a couple of days ago with Belgian TV to explain that we was not out there. So they want us to be out there. Like we was Gavin disavowed us, and then of course the alt-right like, oh, you guys being cucks, you guys are just conservative, these cucks alt-right, and they was like just hammering Gavin like, you guys are cucks. Me, the Proud Boys out there, Unite the Right, and then Unite the Right happened, and we was like, oh shit, we made the right decision.
Yeah, no doubt. Not something you want to be associated with.
No, because right now the alt-right is really in shambles right now. Like South Park made fun of them last night.
Oh, I haven't seen the latest one. I'll have to check it out. All right. That was all my questions. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to jump in there.
It's all right.
Let's see. Well, before we get into other stuff, before the stream started, Point Curation requested an ad, or at least kind of an ad. Let me read what he said just to make sure that I get it right here. So he asked for an advertisement for, quote, actually reading and trying to accurately comprehend the meaning behind Orwell's 1984.
Oh,
I think Point has exceeded sanguine in complexity for an ad request at this point. But I gave it my best shot, and so here's what I came up with. What once was conjecture has become commonplace. What once was a cautionary tale is today's policy. What once was fiction has become our reality. The prescience of George Orwell's chilling classic, 1984, is now required reading. Join Point Curation in the movement to read, discuss, and truly understand what this hypo-heretical work truly means and how we might still avert its more dire conclusions. 1984, the year in review. Now at your local library, while it is still allowed. There you go.
We should save 1984 for deep topic time.
Oh, okay.
Love that book.
All right. Well, let's get into the schnuzz as it was. Well, yeah. Shortly before the stream started, another step towards World War III occurred. So I'm going to. Yeah. So North Korea launches missile over Japan. North Korea has fired a ballistic missile over northern Japan for the second time in less than a month, South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff said Friday. The unidentified ballistic missile was launched from the district of Sunan in the North Korean capital of Pyongyang, home to the country's main airport, the South Korean military said. The missile flew about 3,700 kilometers and reached an altitude of 770 kilometers. That's 480 miles, which CNN forgot to put the parentheses around. They put the parentheses around 480, but not around the miles. So good job, CNN. It landed in the Pacific Ocean, South Korea said. The U.S. Pacific Command said its initial assessment indicated that North Korea had fired an intermediate range ballistic missile. There were conflicting reports from Japan on the type of missile fired, though the government stressed that analysis was ongoing. A government warning known as the J Alert said that, quote, a missile had passed over Hokkaido, northern Japan, before landing in the Pacific. The government is advising people to stay away from anything that could be missile debris, the broadcaster said. Japan's Coast Guard said no damage has been reported by the fallen object. Speaking to reporters Friday, Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe said the launch was, quote, totally unacceptable and went against the international community's strong, united will for a peaceful solution. Let's see. The international community needs to unite and send a clear message after North Korea's dangerous provocation, he said. Let's see. There was something else about how... I read somewhere that North Korea actually issued a threat saying that they were going to sink the island nation, but I'm trying to see if they have that here. I don't see it. Oh, here it is. The launch came just hours after the rogue nation responded to the United Nations Security Council's unanimous approval of additional sanctions by threatening to sink Japan and reduce the U.S. mainland into ashes and darkness. Let's see. Those sanctions were prompted by North Korea's sixth nuclear test that occurred on September 3rd, which Pyongyang said was a successful test of a hydrogen bomb. That explosion created a magnitude 6.3 tremor, making it the most powerful weapon Pyongyang has ever tested. And then it just goes into some stuff over what they've done the last couple of years or whatever. So, yeah, that happened.
I at this point, I don't even know what to say anymore.
I don't know what more it's going to take before someone does something.
Can we just send like a sassy black woman over there and say, "Can we not?"
I don't know what North Korea would do with a sassy black woman.
We should do that. Like that should be our international representative, just a sassy black woman. Like, hold my weave. Like, goes and gets it down. Awesome. Funny as fuck.
Can we not? I got an appointment at 5:00. Can we not do this?
So you want to send what's her name from the Ghostbusters over there?
Leslie Jones.
Leslie Jones. Yeah, so Leslie Jones. Make her our ambassador
for everything.
Ambassador to North Korea, Leslie Jones.
People want to know who the cool guy is with all the crackers. That's Clashing Ideals, guys.
With all
link
the
is in the description.
Yep.
I told them to.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hole My Weave, SDA 2017. Yes, thank you, Jack Cochran.
No. That's not me. I'm quoting other people. Okay, like you can't. No.
So, I guess my question, and really the question that matters the most right now, is how is China going to respond? Is China going to do or say anything different than they've said over the last couple of times where North Korea has basically said, fuck you to everybody?
I don't think they're going to do anything until North Korea actually hits somebody.
They said that we're not going to do anything until they actually hit somebody.
And that's the safest option, really, because if they don't hit somebody, it's hard to convince everybody, including China, that it's really a declaration of war.
Well, I mean,
if you look around,
they're shooting across the bow, and then they're shooting 2 missiles over your mainland. I don't know what more one could do as a quote-unquote sovereign nation to tell another nation, we're at war with you.
Yeah. I just think at this point, I don't know why China is still protecting them. It makes no sense to me. A limited military strike to take out this shit would put an end to it quickly. We wouldn't even have to take out Kim. We could leave his little dumbass in there. I just don't think China's going to be on board until they, and I know they've said it, but the more they keep ratcheting up this shit, the more you would expect them to go, all right, yeah, now's the time. But yeah, until they actually blow something up, I don't know. Scotch says he's at Berkeley about to listen to Ben Shapiro. Cool, dude.
Ooh.
Record that.
Yeah, get some footage. Yeah, get some footage and post it, dude. Is he speaking tonight?
Yes.
Yeah, he's in Berkeley tonight.
Heck, I should keep an eye on that in case something happens while we're broadcasting. Okay, well, yeah. So, I mean, this is kind of a sequel to what we just had happen earlier this month, in the sense that we're shooting missiles and stuff and setting off nuclear bombs. I don't know how much more of this. I keep thinking the next thing is going to be the breaking point. And this is just. This would not be tolerated under any other circumstances by any other country. And so the only thing holding anybody back is China. That's it. And it's stupid. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so if this doesn't do it, I don't know. I mean, somebody's got to die before anything happens. That's just anyway. And not to say that I'm for preemptive strikes and shit like that. Without
at this point, I don't think it's.
No,
I don't think it's a preemptive strike.
Yeah, no. I mean, in general terms, I'm not in favor of like the Bush doctrine of like before there is actually a threat that has been confirmed to do something. In this situation, I don't see how you could hold Japan back from not responding. I can't imagine what's going on behind the scenes right now between Japan and everybody else saying they are threatening us. They just shot at us twice, and we haven't done anything to respond. We've tried to do peace. We're the better people, but we can't keep going like this. Japan, they're not under any obligation to not protect themselves. So the stressors that are going on the international scene right now must be insane.
Yeah.
Anyway, until something else happens, that was the latest there. We do have a bit of comedy today. For those of you old enough to remember the wonderful Oscars moment when I think it was Sally Field won an Oscar. She went up on the stage and says, "You like me. You really, really like me." It's one of the most pathetic pieces of film you'll probably ever see from a celebrity Well, there's others, but it's pretty bad. So this happened, apparently. A hot mic catches Chuck Schumer talking Trump. He likes us. That's the quote.
Really?
So here we go. New York Senator Chuck Schumer, the chamber's top Democrat, said in off-the-cuff remarks picked up by a Senate floor microphone Thursday that President Donald Trump likes us, seeming to refer to the president's recent deals with him and House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi. Quote, he likes us. He likes me anyway, Schumer said. It was not clear who he was speaking to when he appeared to describe his interactions with the president. Quote, here's what I told him. I said, Mr. President, you're much better off if you can sometimes step right and sometimes step left. If you have to step just in one direction, you're boxed. Trump has come under fire from conservatives frustrated by his deal making with the Democrats. Schumer hit an optimistic note saying, quote, it's going to work out and it'll make us more productive too. Okay, there you go. And Trump has denied that there was a deal made last night on DACA. So we're getting conflicting. We talked about that last night. You're getting conflicting reports from people saying, "Oh, there was a deal, or there was an agreement, or there isn't," and so who knows?
Yeah. I mean, I would agree with that statement right there because one thing I tell people a lot, like if you step too far right or too far left, you're going to be wrong. And if with the DACA thing, I've been saying this for a while, is I will support the path to citizenship as long as you close the border. So I say build the wall, and then afterwards, for the people who doesn't have felonies who are here when it was kids, give them path to citizenship. But you have to build a wall first. Is that first and foremost? Build a wall, path to citizenship. So it's right and left.
Of course, we saw Republicans bitching today, but here's the thing. It has been 8 months since we've had Donald Trump as president, and they haven't done dick in Congress. They could have passed a immigration bill already. There's so many things they could have done, and instead, all they do is wait until Trump blows it up, and then they whine about it. Maybe the reason Trump is working with the Democrats is because the Republicans aren't doing anything. If they want change, do it. They have control of the House and the Senate. Fucking do it.
No, I'll totally agree. It's absolutely madness that we was like for 8 years, like when we get the House, when we get the Senate, we're gonna do all these amazing things, and we have the House, the Senate, the presidency, and we also have the court, and nothing being passed.
Yeah, nothing. It's just so in chat, Griffin says they're stalling. That's what it seems like. Like they're just putting it off. And look, I'm not a fan of DACA. I'm really not. I think it's screwed up. If you want to give these kids a path to citizenship because they were brought in and it wasn't their choice, okay, I can almost get on board with that. What I can't get on board with is sitting there whining that the president is trying to do something when you're sitting on your goddamn hands with your thumb up your ass.
Yeah, I mean, I've always just wanted it to be, look, the DREAM Act has been proposed. Vote on it, yes, no, or otherwise. I'm never going to agree with everything that my government ever does, but so long as it's done democratically, I don't have a whole hell of a lot to complain about. The fact that we're sitting here and the policies in place in an undemocratic fashion, and Trump is, effectively trying to correct a mistake. Well, not even a mistake, but almost an unconstitutional action taken by a previous president. And what weren't the Republicans up in arms left, right, and center when Obama passed this thing? Why wouldn't they be wanting to take part in either lifting or defeating this thing once and for all? And the fact that Trump is like, hey, Democrats, let's get something done, even though by the numbers you can't really get anything done with just the Democrats, it still makes the Republicans look like fools, which they hate, but they're going to have to live with it unless they decide to do something.
If they don't want to look like fools, they should stop acting like fools. Yeah. I am not in favor of term limits. I've never thought they're a good idea. But basically, I think it's undemocratic because you're saying, okay, you can no longer vote for this person. However, watching the Republicans in the Senate and the House the last couple of years, I'm almost ready for term limits.
Oh, I've been ready for term limits for a long time.
Because all these little assholes are doing is trying to protect their goddamn jobs.
Yeah, no, career politician to me should be something to live down, not live up to. Yeah. I just don't see. I mean, you go in there, you get 2 or 3 turns at the wheel, and that's it. And additional to that, there should be some kind of prohibition against leaving public office to then go join any industry that you helped promote or enrich during your time in office. That stuff, that pisses me off. So anyway, I see Irate Bear in the chat. Hi, Bear. I see Base Mama. Hi, Base Mama. And all of our other moderators. Hi, guys. So I didn't have any other like major super stories. I was going to go to MSS News unless there was something else that you guys wanted to talk about in the wide world of sports, so to speak.
No, I'm just waiting to see if Berkeley blows up.
Yeah, there's got to be like a live blog of this or something somewhere.
Well, Lawrence Southern's over there live blogging.
Okay.
There's a few going on.
Okay, well, if one or two of you guys are monitoring what's going on over there, if something does happen or something blows up, literally or figuratively, let me know and we'll move our attentions.
Well, it's only a faggy looking Jew, not like a real gay Jew, so they might leave it alone.
No, he's not even Jewish, according to what Monkey was talking about earlier.
Oh, Tariq Nasheed, yeah. We'll get to that. Well, let's cover that now since it is part of what's going on. Let me find the exact quote here again.
Sure.
Tariq Nasheed is a pile of donkey dicks.
Oh, he is. He tweeted out, suspected white supremacist Ben Shapiro, who tries to mask his racist rhetoric by claiming to be Jewish, is in Berkeley now. Yeah, so Ben is just claiming to be Jewish. He's not actually. Yeah. And it's just to hide his white supremacy.
Yeah,
so,
he's not.
For Tariq Nasheed, everybody is a suspected white supremacist.
Don't feel too bad. He called me a white supremacist one time when he
figured, really,
and he blocked me. When he learned I was a Proud Boy. Gavin, we have black Proud Boys. I'm one of the more infamous Proud Boys out there. So they tweeted out my tattoo of me in the picture and white supremacist block. I'm like, oh, that sucked.
Oh, well, you know what? Amazingly enough, one of the first stories we have on MSS News on the list from staff reporter Jack Cochran comes from Campus Reform. The headline is Disorientation Guide Calls Jews White Supremacists. So let me read this. This is from Campus. Yeah, I know. This is from Campus Reform. Students at Tufts University recently claimed that Israel is a, quote, white supremacist state that perpetuates apartheid against Palestinians. In a Tufts disorientation guide, which was distributed to incoming freshmen, students targeted Tufts University Hillel as an organization that supports a white supremacist state. Additionally, the guide accuses Hillel of exploiting black voices for inviting the parents of Trayvon Martin to speak about the ramifications of gun violence to Tufts University. I'm going to read that again because I'm not quite sure. Okay. Additionally, the guide accuses Hillel, the white supremacist supporters, of exploiting black voices for inviting the parents of Trayvon Martin to speak about the ramifications of gun violence to the university.
How? What? Israel is not even mostly white. It's mostly African. I have dual citizenship in Israel. I'm Israeli citizenship.
You're only pretending to be an Israeli. Come on.
Yeah, the legal documentation, also the fact that the top of my penis is gone. I'm pretending to be Jewish.
Oh my god! Sorry, I wasn't ready for that.
Do you ever have to whip it out to prove you're Jewish?
A rabbi asked me one time. I was reading Torah, and he asked me if I'm circumcised. I'm like, yeah.
That's a personal question, though. Like, what?
They don't care.
I can see it now like a porno where it's like, prove your bona fides. Show me that you are Jewish.
That's so wrong.
While the guide praises other campus groups, the pro-Israel group Hillel is roundly condemned, with the guide even noting that pro-Palestinian students launched a chapter of Students for Justice in Palestine, SJP, solely to counter the messages of Hillel. In an effort to discourage students from joining Hillel, the guide suggests alternative communities on campus, including SJP, for Jewish students who would like to remain, quote, critical of Zionism and Israel, unquote. Okay, how is this not anti-Semitism?
It is anti-Semitism.
No, because they're fighting for Palestine.
So they're
if you fight for
calling
Palestine, you can't be.
Yeah, but
you can't be
the
anti-Semitic.
Muzzies are more important than the Jewsies.
Okay, so
But-
the Jewish organization is white supremacist, and it's bad because it's Jewish, says the people who aren't white supremacists but are anti-Semitic.
Yes.
My brain is turning to toothpaste right now.
You mean Palestine, whose control over Hamas, which have the dangerous form of Islam, which Wahhabism, is the victims?
Yes.
I don't know. There are no harps or halos in any of this, really, but holy shit.
Well, we can even talk about the fact that saying that Palestine is like saying the Midwest. There's no fucking Palestine. These people, I remember arguing back in the days when I was on the Real Time board. There had been a peace treaty over there between the Jews and the Palestinians, and I made the joke, who wants to bet how long it takes the Palestinians to blow this thing? And everybody got mad at me, and it took exactly 3 days before the Palestinians blew something up.
Yeah, it's true.
And
That's exactly what
this
happened.
is what happens every fucking time, and the Jews get blamed for it.
Because the Jews are all, okay, yeah, we'll sign this thingy. And then the Palestinians are like, okay. And then it's usually less than a week before something literally blows up. And they've done this multiple times.
Well,
Damn Jews.
we're not gonna solve this tonight, I don't think. No one
maybe
will. Yeah.
Muslims just bad at mechanism. You never know.
Yeah. Let's see. We have another one from Jack Cochran. I'll do real quick just because it has to do with magic. Do you believe in magic? DC socialite worries the hexes she put on people might have killed them.
Oh my God.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
A long-time Washington socialite is raising eyebrows with her new book on spirituality as she claims the hexes she put on 3 people in the past may have led to their deaths. Sally Quinn, a journalist who was famously married to Washington Post editor Ben Bradlee. I'm sorry, if you're famous for having married somebody, you're not famous. Admits to being an occultist in her new spiritual memoir titled Finding Magic. Quinn says she feels guilty about her hexes and won't do them anymore. She also says she refuses to cast a spell on President Trump, as some of her friends have asked. Quote, believe me, since Trump was elected and since the election, I can't tell you how many friends have asked me to put a hex on Donald Trump, and I won't do it. I just said no. I don't do that anymore. Quinn also claims all the women in her family are psychic. She said her mother also put hexes on 2 people who died.
Wait.
You know what? I can put a hex on anybody, and you know what? They're gonna die.
If she was psychic, didn't she know that her hexes would work?
Yeah. Well, I can put, like I said, I can put a hex on anybody, and eventually, it will come true. I just have to wait.
Eventually, will die.
Yes. Yeah. So she's probably not wrong. I mean, I can't prove that her hexes didn't kill them, but
do they name who she hexed?
That's what I'm looking for here. But Quinn won't actually divulge.
Oh, who?
Quinn won't divulge how to actually put a hex on anyone. Wait, where did she say? Quinn also claims, right. Quote, they were 2 people who had hurt me very badly, and she said to both of them, I hope you drop dead, and they did. And I saw her do it. Just right there, right then.
If that's the case, all the customers that come to my job will be dead right now.
Well, you're not, but not all the men in your family are psychic.
No.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm sorry, but being psychic is clearly a female thing.
It's female intuition. Speaking of
We're not woke enough.
Oh God. Speaking of the 3 people she put hexes on, Quinn said, quote, one person died right away, another person got fired immediately and then died, and then the other one died right away. Well, who and what is right away? And anyway. So that's exciting. Oh, thank you, Cryptic. In Islam, once a land is conquered by Muslims, they say they are forever Muslim lands. That includes Spain and Israel, lands that were reconquered.
Ooh, I'm sorry, I missed it. Who was the crazy lady married to?
Ben Bradlee, the former editor of the Washington Post. Or sorry, was it the Washington Post? Yeah, whatever Woodward and Bernstein worked for.
Okay.
Thank you, Cryptic. Did you have an ad you wanted me to do? And I hope it's not about Muslim conquering things, because I'd like to keep my head on my shoulders. Thank you, Sanguine. A cerebral thriller movie about this woman with a twist ending where a bored serial killer overheard each of her curses.
Ooh, that would actually be really cool.
Oh shit, that's cool, dude.
I would watch that shit.
All right, Sanguine, you got that. Sounds more like a Murder She Wrote plot, but I'll
Yes, it does.
I'll work on that. Thank you, Sylvanus. 100% of death caused by living. Caused by living? Yes.
Yep.
It's true. Living causes death. Okay, Sanguine. Let me.
Sorry, I did just sunk in what Sanguine actually wrote. That's really funny.
I'll work on that between now and tomorrow night. That's actually a really interesting idea. That's like novel-worthy plot line right there. Okay, I think it was Sally Quinn, just so I don't forget that. Sally Quinn. Okay. All right, I got that down, Sanguine. I will work on that between now and tomorrow. Let's see. Okay, well, let's move on to other things. What do we got?
I'm going to be muted a bit. I'm eating my sandwich, but I'll still be here.
What kind of sandwich?
I want to know. McChicken? Is it McChicken?
It's chicken with tomato added.
Ooh.
Ew.
That's racist.
That's racist. So this one comes from Pincalo the driver, or Eric the driver, or just the driver. From the Toronto Sun, if I can get it to pull up here. Come here. Let's see. Racism is as American as baseball at Fenway Park. The fans who unfurled the banner claim it was an anti-racist statement.
I mean, that's a horrible, like, I wouldn't compare racism to baseball, but because that would mean it's slowly dying out and nobody's really caring.
Did you guys see the banner?
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yes, it's
fucking
silly.
huge.
It is gigantic. I mean, when you see in relation to the people above it, it's gigantic. But in relation
would
to
that be allowed to be brought into the park? What if they had guns or bombs in that thing?
Well, they probably had it folded and rolled, and they could probably get it into a bag or something. I don't know. Let's see. Boston. Some fans seated above the Green Monster hung a sign about racism in the fourth inning and were escorted from Fenway Park during Boston's 7-3 loss to Oakland on Wednesday night. The sign had a black background with white letters that read, "Racism is as American as baseball." It was up on the left field wall for about one batter until umpires asked it to be removed because it was in fair territory. There was a spattering of boos from the crowd as Red Sox security forced them to remove it and escorted the people from their seats. A Red Sox spokesman said 4 people were escorted from the park, and one said they were inspired by Black Lives Matter. Quote, "Saw it was draped over the monster," Red Sox manager John Farrell said. "From the dugout, you see someone expressing their opinion, and it looked like it was withdrawn relatively quick." And, yeah. It is not the first time that the Red Sox have responded to the topic of racism at the ballpark. Earlier this season, Orioles center fielder Adam Jones said after a game on May 1st that he was the victim of racial slurs and had peanuts thrown at him during the game. The next day, Jones received a personal apology from Boston team president Sam Kennedy on behalf of the club. When he stepped up for his first at-bat of the game, he was given an extended applause from the Fenway crowd. Okay, so racism is a minority position. Ha 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 ha! You get that? That's funny. Anyway, never mind.
I laughed, but I'm chewing.
Okay, fine. Never mind. I thought it was funny. As long as I do.
No, I was being serious. I thought it was funny.
All right.
The thing about racism, how I believe that racism is slowly dying out in its own life support, and its own life support by race baiters who want to keep this dough in. So I see someone like, oh, racism is alive today. Like, racism is not alive today. I travel all throughout America, and like I say, most of Americans are really good people. It's just these small fringe groups that the media will just blow the fuck up. And you think that the whole entire America is like this. It's not. Like, I've been to like Texas when we had the hurricane. I've been to Florida just recently with the hurricane Irma, and also Americans helping out Americans. And that's what I see. And when I see racism, I'm like, there's no such thing as racism. If anything, all the racist things I get thrown at is from the left.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, actual racism is a small portion of, you know, societal thought, let's say, but race baiting is a big industry. And as long as there's money involved, as long as there's, you know, paid speeches and donations and nonprofits and everything else meant to fight against the bad thing, even if the bad thing isn't really there in such droves as would justify it, it'll still be there. And then this is why we see things like all these hoaxes. And I hate it when somebody hoaxes some kind of like racial attack or some kind of hate crime or something, because that always puts into, it's the same thing as like crying rape falsely. You're putting at risk those real situations where something horrible happens, because then it makes it less likely someone's going to report it or that it'll be taken seriously.
No, I totally agree.
Yeah.
I was on a live stream. I made the joke with like not to get tossed around so much. It's not a call for action. I say if somebody named their YouTube channel The Reasonable Nazi, I'll probably watch that channel.
Yeah, they'd be kicked off of YouTube in about 3 seconds. Cryptic, thank you. Race baiting is how Al Sharpton got rich. Not an unfair point.
I also think this is kind of the difference between our side and, I guess, the left, if you want to call it that. And I guess why we get a bad rap as racist, it's because we'll talk to fucking anybody. You know, if Richard Spencer were to message me and be like, can I become Lords of the Night? I'd be like, fuck yeah. Let's do it.
Rotten Corpse, sorry I didn't see this earlier. Since Weibo Jones picked my last ad, my ad can be chosen by tonight's guest. So just as a primer, classically, when someone wants to do an ad, I just ask for like an item, like a random thing to make up an ad about, something funny. My diehard fans have obviously gotten more complex over time. So you can choose a product or a concept for me to try to craft an ad for. The more complex it is, it may or may not be done tonight, but if it's something relatively simple, I could probably hack it out during the stream. So if you have an idea, go ahead. If not right now, we can just blurt it out whenever it comes to you.
Before we move on, it is Polydub's birthday, and Polydub has to be leaving soon. So Polly has requested that we...
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday
to you.
Happy birthday, Polydub. Happy birthday to you.
All right.
Happy birthday, Polly.
Yeah, so, oh, by the way, do you want me to call you Clashing or Ideals or...
You can call me Yosef. I've been doxxed, so...
Oh, I'm sorry. That sucks.
You say Yosef?
Yosef.
Okay.
Yosef.
All right, so Yosef, if you have an ad idea, you have been gifted the opportunity to pick an ad for me to make up.
I got an ad for black Jewish Nazis.
Oh,
I get called that a lot.
He's gone to the Sanguine school of picking ads.
Black Jewish Nazis. All right. Oh Lord. All right. Well, I'm gonna have to have somebody else do some MSS news for a few minutes because I'm gonna have to work on that one.
It's pretty. I get called that a lot, and the funny thing is, like, I get called a Nazi. Like, I'm not a Nazi. I'm Jewish. Like, where there was non-Aryan Nazis. Like, you mean Muslims? Like, I'm not Muslim. Like, that's So it's always funny to see the comments in my channel because either like Coon from Trick and She crowd when I criticize him, or Nazi from the Latifah or the alt left. I just can't win.
How are you treated by the alt right?
Do you want to hear the worst joke I heard about the alt right?
Yeah.
So they say, what's the hardest part about being a black Jew?
I don't know.
Is that the fact that you have to sit in the back of the gas chambers?
Oh my god.
I love it. Oh
That
god,
was both
more. Do you
awesome
have
and
more?
horrible at the same time.
Do you have any more? I want more.
Lady Monkey just heard it. Oh my god.
Oh, I heard that. I'm like, oh, that is horrible and funny at the same time.
It is. That is great. That is awesome, but bad. So bad.
Oh, I love awful jokes. I have the funniest joke I've ever heard is one that Monkey told me, and it was awful and it was hilarious, and I laughed for like 10 minutes, and it was great.
So, do you want us to hit MSS News while you make an ad or two?
Yeah, I'm.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about or two, but I'm working on the Black Jewish Nazi right now.
I got you, fam. I got you.
Oh Lord.
Oh, this one came from Scribe.
Oh, did it? Oh boy, what did I do?
All right, Monkey's got you, fam.
Has a
He's got
job.
Sorry, what?
Colin Kaepernick has a job.
Oh, so
What?
okay, so I just want to predicate. This isn't a news article. It's more like it's a blog post kind of thing. I only read the first couple of paragraphs, and the guy doesn't really talk about Colin Kaepernick. He talks about his day, and I just thought that if you read the first 4 or 5 paragraphs of this, you're going to have an entertaining time.
Let's see. Any given weekend, being allowed to enter the Vintage Lounge seems highly probable, so long as you are 21 years of age and follow the rules of the sign on the door. No ball caps and no beanies. No loose-fitting t-shirts or oversized shirts. No baggy pants or baggy shorts, and no saggy pants or saggy shorts. And no sleeveless shirts and no biker vests and no sportswear. The Vintage Lounge is not open on Sundays. Oh, God, why is this an ad starting in the middle of this? Stop that. Staring at the poster in the street.
Thank you. Sorry, real quick. Sorry. Thank you, Sweeper Steven. Just stopping in to show some love, and you guys pick. All right, Sweeper, I'll do that.
Staring at a poster in the street-facing window here, wondering which clothes are left to wear, I move my hands up from near my heart down into my short pocket, grasping for Tanya's business card. Yes, just 3 hours ago, I ate cheese grits in a West Oakland breakfast haunt called Brown Sugar Kitchen. And yes, the cooks were brown and the servers were brown. And yes, Harvest for the World by the Isley Brothers was stuck in my head. And yet, dear God, man, use a period. And yes, the owner was a black woman named Tanya who had given me a hug because my friend Ryan is her friend Ryan. And yes, the rest. What the fuck do you have me reading? Scribe.
What is this? Scribe. Don't leave us hanging.
And yes, the restaurant was on a parkway named after Nelson Mandela. Yes, this had all just happened just this morning. I was sure of it. But grasping reality doesn't make it any easier to see this sign of the times during this very moment. In the summer of 2017, following the 2016 that so many endured, to be surprised by discrimination masquerading as the rules of the game as tradition is to be harmfully naive. Oh my God. But if you stop paying attention even for a moment, you can still get caught with your guard down here in America in the year 2017. Those grits and smiles and hugs moisturized all 5 senses as I drove from Oakland to San Francisco 49ers training camp in Santa Clara, and then deep into the torso of Northern California, to a town you're only ever in for a reason, a place called Turlock. I'd come here having taken note of interactions with dozens of friends and confidants following a month of unsuccessfully waiting for a sit-down, to gather more perspective on the town's most famous export, a 29-year-old named Colin Kaepernick. This is stupid as shit.
Yep, I know, and this is so. It was that thing where it's like, oh, you know, this gentle discrimination of like having a dress code and then sitting at the table and like waiting for the guy to nod at him and like, what are you talking about?
One of the things on there was no leather vests.
I know.
Is that a black thing?
I don't know, I mean, I am admittedly white. So is there a thing where you go to a place and if you see the only other black person there, you have to nod at them? Is this a thing? I don't know.
I don't.
Well, I'm asking our guest. I mean, he would presumably have an idea.
Oh yeah, he's black.
Jesus.
Sweet Jesus.
Sweet Jesus.
Said it one more time.
This guy, he's describing going to Whitey McWhitersville or whatever. And he sits down and he sees what he presumes to be the only other black person in the city. And he looks up and sort of stares at him, waiting to make eye contact so they can do the nod thing. Is the nod thing a thing?
It is a thing.
Okay.
I don't know why it is a thing. I do it. I really don't know why I do it, but it is a thing for some reason.
Okay. I'm gonna start doing that with black guys.
You will be surprised.
And then
just to throw them off or something.
Yeah, they'll be like, "I thought he was white."
Oh my god.
That is an interesting read in how he describes things. He's very good with description. But it was just
well, nuts. There was a lot of and yes, and yes, and yes. Stop it.
Okay.
What else?
This one comes to us from Uzi Q. Load up. Here we go. This is from the Washington Examiner. Where's the headline? Pumpkin spice lattes fund white supremacy in Trump's White House, according to feminist group.
What?
Pumpkin spice doesn't just taste as good when you add a shot of racism, a feminist leader explained as the fall flavor began to pop up in coffee shops around the country. This is a shockingly weird claim, but it shouldn't be surprising. In an editorial published last month, we wrote about the left's effort to broaden the boundaries of concepts such as white supremacy and racism in a way that impugns the conduct of well-meaning people. Now, a feminist nonprofit is running a campaign to convince festive imbibers of pumpkin spice latte they're unknowingly boosting the cause of white supremacy. Dear Lord.
This can't be a thing.
Sorry, I had to cough there. But where are we at? The co-founder of Ultraviolet issued the Shot of Racism statement September 6th. I knew Starbucks had a secret menu, but the baristas must really be keeping these racism shots on the down low. A social media post from the group informed readers that favorite fall drinks of yours is funding rent payments to white supremacists. Did they explain why or how? I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to figure out how they're lumping this together. Yeah, it doesn't seem to really address it.
I have the ad ready.
Okay.
This may turn out to be worse than my 9/11 ad. No, did you not hear that the other day?
No.
Oh, so somebody had asked to make the most offensive 9/11 comedy movie trailer ad I could, and it was awesome. I came up with like a takeoff on Disney and Pixar turning 9/11 into an animated film. You have to go back to the previous. I did it right at the top of the stream. So if anybody wants to see that, go back to the last stream on my playlist. I think I kept it up for the and yeah, it's there. Anyway, all right. So black Jewish Nazi. Jesus. All right, now I can't do a voice that's appropriate to this, but imagine a grindhouse blaxploitation trailer from like the 70s. Okay.
Okay.
He was the brother who was too woke for a sleeping society. He was the undercover NAACP, ADL, KKK agent tasked to infiltrate the worst of the worst to the best of the best. He was the greatest lover in all of the ghetto, gated community, trailer park. Badass Afro-Hotep Aryan. Watch badass Afro-Hotep Aryan fight everyone over everything at the same time. An engine of hate against all the hate that can hate. Badass Afro-Hotep Aryan, directed by Clashing Ideals, a Rotten Corpse production.
That was good. That was nice.
Really good.
Badass Afro-Hotep Aryan. Now, I remember seeing, there was this movie that Mario Van Peebles did several years ago that was sort of a biopic about his father, Melvin Van Peebles. And it was called Badass. That was the name of the movie, because it was about, in part, the making of a film his father did way back when called Sweetback's Badass Song. That was the name of the movie. It was like blaxploitation flick from way back when. And so when I was thinking about this, I was like, oh my God, this sounds like, I was like, what kind of superhero name can I give somebody who's a black Jewish Nazi? Anyway, there you go. There's my attempt.
That was perfect.
That was awesome. I have a story here from Jordan.
Oh, Jordan 250.
Yes. Who
Other
does so
country.
many great what's what I'm looking for? Memes for us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put the link in there for the ladies because this was actually his comment was for the ladies.
For the ladies.
It's on. Knoxville police challenge Gainville police to a hunk off for Irma recovery.
Perfect.
The Gainesville Police Department inadvertently caused a stir with admirers early this week as some of the photographs the department posted on Facebook of officers dealing with the aftermath of Hurricane Irma caught more than a little attention. One photograph in particular, let's just say heroes in uniform are hard to resist. The response was so intense. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Shouldn't it be wet tears of memory?
Whoa.
The response was so intense that the GPD has quickly put in motion plans to produce a calendar of its comely officers to raise money for Hurricane Irma relief. This is actually pretty cool. They've not only are they making this calendar, that they've asked all of their admirers to donate to different Irma charities. So that's a nice thing to read. Plus, women, you get a drool over some. Those are some nice looking men. I'm not going to lie. Those are some pretty men.
Well, I have one story I put in the chat, which I think is probably the funniest thing I've ever read in a long time. It have Nazi floodwaters in it.
Nazi
my
floodwaters.
goodness.
Yes.
Okay.
It's in the group chat.
Yep. I see it here. Neo-Nazi group targets residents in South Campus area. While some of their members flashed white power hand signs in Houston, members of the neo-Nazi group Ohio Proud Boys were busy on campus. The neo-Nazi group? Okay.
The neo-Nazi group.
Okay. The Neal Avenue corridor between 10th Street and 5th was covered in recruiting flyers. At the same time, several residents found hand-drawn swastikas stuffed into their mail slots at their home, including inside apartment buildings, in an obvious attempt at intimidation. The local neo-Nazi group operates only a few blocks from where the head of the Daily Stormer, Andrew Anglin, keeps his false voter registration. They apparently intend to take the city back block by block by coming to people's homes in the early morning. They get shot, aren't they?
That's the best time to come to people's homes, in the early morning.
Yeah, and remember the Proud Boys are the neo-Nazi group they're talking about. The group I'm in.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why when they said neo-Nazi group, I was like, what? You're not part of this, are you? You're not intimidating white, people to leave, are you? Yeah, I don't want to be part of a investigation.
I'm definitely telling the minorities to leave their homes.
You're a bastard. Wow. Their propaganda offensive in South Campus combined with other flyer drops. Okay, oh God. I'm sorry. Their propaganda offensive in South Campus combined with another flyer drop in the Luca Park area comes less than a week after another armed neo-Nazi group plastered flyers all over the town of Yellow Springs, a little over a half hour away. That they said, and a half hour away. This is in the wake of neo-Nazi recruitment literature being dropped at people's homes in both. Where's the?
It's all Proud Boys. It's Proud Boys, and the guy wasn't even white who did the flyers.
I can't really see what the flyer says. Does it say "Come be a Nazi"?
No, it said the West is the best. That's a Proud Boy flyer. The West is the best, and that's Uncle Sam, by the way.
Oh yeah, I see Uncle Sam there.
So Uncle Sam is a neo-Nazi signal.
He's white.
Yep.
Anytime I see one, because they have a hand-drawn swastika there. Anytime I see something like that, my immediate thing is the person who found that drew it.
Yes,
because it happens too often. It really does. I'll throw the link in chat here for you guys so you can see the swastika picture yourself. It looks like it was drawn by a 3-year-old.
Well, it's interesting because it's always like these nice printed out flyers with a hand-drawn swastika. Like, why didn't they just print out the swastika?
Yeah, you would think that's what they would be doing.
That is a very hand-drawn. It's like, this is all hand-drawn. Like, the Uncle Sam got the flyers, and then you have this retarded swastika.
Yeah.
I think the last paragraph's the funniest. Like I literally was rolling.
Oh, sorry. I have to get back to it. I closed it on accident here.
Yeah, you've got this printed out
There we
nice sign and then this hand-drawn fucked up swastika.
The linkage between police brutality and murder, the OSU-led real estate development agenda, city council's continued disenfranchisement of the Black community, and neo-Nazi activity is literally written on the map of Columbus as if it were zoning regulations. Nothing happens in a vacuum, and the Mockingbird will continue to cover it all. The Nazi floodwaters reach from Houston to Columbus and back. That actually made my head hurt reading it.
Oh, when I saw this article, it just came out. I was
Keep going. I'm sorry.
As I was driving to Florida, I'm reading this like they talk about us, right? Like, yeah, this is us. Like, so how are we like controlling the water with our Nazi waves? I'm very confused.
Obviously, you're using your white supremacist magic to use the water to intimidate because the flyers just aren't doing the job.
Usually Gavin will sue for something like this, but he said it was so stupid and poorly written, he's gonna leave it alone.
Oh my god, that's retarded, and it is very poorly written. That last paragraph is hard to even understand what the hell they're talking about.
Well, it's Nazis. It's all you need to know is Nazi this, Nazi that.
Yeah.
All right.
Scribbles.
Yeah, let me do one more ad here, and then we'll move on to YouTube time.
Cool. Okay.
Let's see. I got to come up with a tagline for this. This is the problem. I got to have like a zinger at the end, right? I got to have something that's funny.
Well, while you're coming up with a tagline, guys, thank you so much for your submissions to hashtag MSS News. If you do have stories you want us to read, throw it up there. There's no need to link all of us. Just hit hashtag MSS News. We search it during the stream. We don't get to everything, and I'm sorry for that. We try, but we get so many submissions. It's one of those times where it's a great problem to have. But thank you so much for always helping us out there.
Okay. Okay. This is going to show off the fact that I have no creativity for the zinger this time around, but everything else should be okay. All right. So Sweeper Steven requested a random or just a we pick, and whenever that happens, I go to the trusty Amazon random product generator, and this is what it came up with. Is exercise hard work for you? Is trying to lose those extra pounds becoming a drag? Are you lacking inspiration to work up some perspiration? Then you need Sweeper Stevens motivational home gym wall posters. Help push yourself to feel the burn with such inspirational notions as no one ever drowned in sweat, get a move on, fatty, and diabetes or old age, your death, your choice. Sweeper Stevens motivational gym wall posters. They'll help you weigh less.
Are those actual posters?
The no one ever drowned in sweat is the one they actually have in the image. The other ones I made up.
Nice.
Yeah, get a move on, fatty, and diabetes or old age, your death, your choice. Those are mine.
For the record, you can do both of those. You can be old and die of diabetes. I think I'm going to make a... Can I use that for a shirt? That would be awesome.
What? Diabetes or old age, your death, your choice?
Yes.
Okay,
I could sell that to Vegan Gains.
Oh, shit.
So I got a question about you and his beef. That was hilarious.
Oh,
what is
yeah.
YouTube time? Go ahead.
Because I was vegan for one point, but I had to stop because I was losing too much weight. And since I switched off of veganism, I gained 20 pounds. I look much healthier.
Well, for most people, you have to be very, very careful with the vegan diet. You really do. And your story is not unlike many other people. You have to very carefully plan your meals for that. Where with a normal diet, you tend to get everything you need. Yeah, my beef with him actually, it started in chat on another video. We'd had a few run-ins before that, but I was trolling Ask Yourself's live stream where he was debating, I think it was cognitive thought at that one. And Richard saw something I said and lost his mind. So I decided to go have fun with his dumb ass. Because I really have nothing against veganism. If you want to be a vegan, great. Good for you. But don't push it on me.
I'll totally agree with that. I kind of wish I can debate vegan games. So you can ask me, like, will you kill an animal? Like, I have, and I will continue killing animals. Because I live down south and I go hunting. Like,
okay.
So, like, in my family's from Mississippi. So, like, I have killed many animals in my lifetime. And I will continue killing animals. I went to Florida. I was helping out the hurricane, but I was literally looking for an alligator to shoot.
Nice.
Let's see. So YouTube time. This is where we talk about what we're working on YouTube stuff. So I'll guest go first. What videos are you working on right now, if anything?
Or what was your last video?
Oh yes, that too. Yes.
My last video was on the BBC. Like, how to do your makeup after an accident attack? And I'm like, what? Like,
oh yeah,
I saw that.
And I was like, this is not a thing right now. Like, this can't be a thing. Like, how to do your makeup after a Muslim throw, or to the BBC, an Asian throw accident in your face. It was absolute madness. I was talking about that and this Hurricane Irma. But one video I'm gonna do next week, which I'm trying to knock out, is reverse 14 words, because I just want to show like how hypocritical people are with because like the 14 words, like, we must secure a future for Blasey white family. So I'm gonna do the same thing, but I'm gonna switch out the white with black and go to the black community and ask black people this question and see how they react.
Oh boy. Okay. SDA, you working on anything, or did you post anything today?
I'm not working on any videos right now, but Bay and I are doing a book club with Bay tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay, what book are you covering this time?
The Struggle by Jennifer L. Armentrout, narrated by Justine Eyre.
The Struggle, the Power, the whatever. Yeah, it's always the something.
Yeah, and this one it is. It's a really awful book. I hate it. So you guys are gonna have a lot of fun listening to me be upset. So
I want to do a book called The Toe Clipper. The nail clipper. The nail clipper. Yeah. Monkey, what have you been up to today or the last couple of days?
I didn't do anything today. I was with Little Butt.
How was Little Butt?
Awesome. She was actually pretty good today. What was my last video?
Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah. Several people have missed the point of that video. And I just want to put it out there in the wild for my own voice. There were several times that I brought up hurricanes from the past, especially the 1900 hurricane that hit Galveston, which devastated Galveston. And the death toll it's estimated at about 8,000, but it can be anywhere from 6 to 12. And I didn't highlight that just because how many people died. In Thunderfoot's video, right before I start talking about that, he plays a clip of some newscaster talking about how expensive the damage was. Well, there's a couple of things you have to realize about expensive damage in modern times. The hurricanes, even 30 years ago, you didn't lose laptops and 50-inch TVs and your iPhone and your iPad. The stuff that we lose these days is a lot more expensive. So it's really hard to even compare the damage amounts. But my point was, if you're just looking at damage, there have been far more damaging hurricanes. And we simply cannot know anything before basically 1969 exactly how bad any hurricane season was. We can't. Right. We didn't have the ability to track them. But a lot of people lost their minds over that one point, and they're like, no, you're missing. Watch the whole fucking thing, for God's sake.
What? But I mean, having context, why would people want to do that? Go to the effort of getting context? What?
I've had 2 people tell me that we shouldn't look at history because we know how hurricanes are formed, so we shouldn't look at history at all. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? You're telling me to ignore science,
right?
Real verifiable data. In favor of theory.
I wish I could show you my face right now, but my hair is out. What?
It's absolutely insane. And basically, that's what Thunderfoot did in his video. He completely ignores history and the actual data we have to go, well, this is how hurricanes are made.
Which is odd for him, given that he is usually so. I mean, whenever he's talking about a science subject or trying to disprove some kind of crackpot product or something, he goes so deep into the science and the records and how things work and everything. And then in this one, where he's trying to make a social, political point, he just sort of hand waves over the science. Okay.
Well, here's the thing, and anybody who is upset with me for that video, listen to me carefully right now. Hurricanes not being affected by global warming doesn't mean global warming isn't happening.
Right.
You're just, I mean, they're just not connected as far as we can see right now. I personally don't think man-made global warming is a big thing, but it's entirely beside the point. Even if it is, there's nothing saying that it's connected. And I don't understand why people can't just look at the fucking numbers. But yeah, the first time I read, we shouldn't look at history. Like, are you fucking insane right now? Otherwise, we have our stream on Scribe's channel at 3 p.m. Eastern this Sunday, going over the classic Seagal movie Under Siege.
Under Siege.
I still haven't figured out a time, but sometime this Sunday, I hope to get the stream done with Lady Monkey, where she'll be asking me all of your questions from my 1-year anniversary on YouTube. So hopefully that'll be happening.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Let's see. I was going to say something else. I forget what it was now. Yeah. So I did a guest video for Sinatra Says. That's what I was working on the last couple days, and I got that cooked up and I gave him the link this morning. He says he'll have it posted to his channel tomorrow. So anybody who doesn't already know about Sinatra, take a look at his channel, look him up. And I'm going to wait about a week before I post it to my channel. That's my usual routine, so I don't steal his thunder or any ad revenue he might get out of it. And it's a surprise, maybe not much of a surprise for my loyal viewers, but it's a surprise subject matter if you go over there and watch it tomorrow. Today, I actually ended up writing like 2 different scripts almost all the way through for 2 different other videos.
Okay.
But so the first one was a TEDx talk. And I'm going to talk about these because more likely than not, I'm not going to finish them, and I'll explain in a second why. Thank you, Serenity Lotus. Serenity Lotus, sorry. Anyone think Antifa, by any means necessary, will pop off tonight at UC Berkeley? Anyone think this weekend in DC is going to be crazy with that Juggalo march? I wouldn't put anything past Antifa or by any means necessary, given their track record at Berkeley. As far as the Juggalo march, I'll be surprised if the Juggalos can make it 2 blocks in a march.
You missed a super chat earlier too there.
Did I?
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I hate it when they go by too fast and they don't even have a timer at the top of the screen.
Yeah.
If it's below a certain amount, I'm sorry, Dark Shade. Isn't there a Goosebumps book called Toe Sucker? I wouldn't doubt that there is, and its sequel should be Toenail Clipper. Sorry about that, Dark Shade. Yeah, YouTube does not play nice with anything below $5 in a donation for whatever reason. So
it does not.
Anyway, what do you guys think on Antifa and or Juggalos?
So far, Antifa's been pretty quiet. So I don't know, and like you said, you can't tell with them. And with the Juggalos, wasn't there another march going on at the same time?
I thought there was something where there was like some kind of scheduling conflict, or there was some other event happening, but I can't remember.
I think with the Juggalo is going to be brawls. It's going to be fights with the Juggalo because it'll be counter protests, and Juggalos are the crazy white people that will punch people.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
They drink beer and punch people. With Ben Shapiro, what I'm looking at right now, there's like all these things going up, like, oh, no white supremacists, no hate, no Nazis. And to this day, like I still don't know how you can call Ben Shapiro a Nazi. I really don't. So
somebody put it up earlier. It said, well, Ben Shapiro, conservative, wants small government, wants lower taxes, equals fascist. Let's see. So the 2 videos I was looking at today, one was a TEDx talk. And it was ostensibly about growing up in poverty. And what caught my attention was about 2 or 3 minutes into the thing, the lady speaking says, poverty isn't about how much money you have or how good your job is.
What?
And I had to pause the video. I was like, yes, it is. And then she said, poverty is about the kind of opportunities you're provided and having belief in yourself to be what you want to be in life or something like that, like self-determination. I thought, you could have no opportunities in life, have no faith in yourself, and be a millionaire. That's got nothing to do with nothing. I don't know what you're. And so I kept waiting for like the shoe to drop on this conversation, because she gets really close to the edge of saying, because she's talking to her audience, she's basically like doling out this very gentle guilt trip of, you need to do things to help disadvantaged people to make it in the world when they can't do it on their own.
Oh, I so hate those kind of people. I really do.
And the thing is, though, is that she describes the fact that she came up in low-income housing with a single mother of 4 children, and how now she, our speaker, she has a career, she has her own house, she has a husband, she has 2 children, she has a car, she's working on a master's degree, and she came from the kind of poverty she describes as like real poverty, with like, the only thing you can do to buy food is with food stamps. And I'm thinking, okay, well then you are a living example of how that doesn't define your fate, right? And then she talks about how, society was sending her all these messages that she's not good enough, and then she goes into talking about all the individuals that helped her along the way, including the local police department that sponsored her for a sports tournament. Like, it was such conflicting messages, but she never gets to the point of explicitly saying, you need to look at people that look like me as inferior, and all you people in the audience who have privilege. She never gets that explicit. So it was a real balancing act between her being sanctimonious and just saying, help your fellow man. And so it was really hard for me to sort of like find anything to dig my teeth into, so to speak. I mean, I'm describing it in a much more capsulized fashion, which sounds worse than it was, but she didn't deliver it that way. Thank you, Peter Silac. Hades 313 throws scribes some scratch. I love getting scratched, particularly by beautiful women, but that's a different story. And the other video I'm looking at is, it looked like it might be another entry into Curriculum of Fear, and I'm still working on it, but it's this talk a teacher is giving, basically telling veteran teachers how to teach novice teachers, like new teachers coming into the industry, I guess you can call it industry now, how to teach social justice. And it's called practice-based pedagogy or something. I'm still trying to figure out what she means by practice, because it's like, what do you mean practice, like repetition towards experience and knowledge? Because that's just called learning. I don't know. It's weird. I'm trying to work on it. But anyway, over the course of these 2 videos, I've written what effectively comes to about half a script for a video. I'm still waiting to find that thing that really catches my brain. I don't even know if I'll do the videos on them, but I'm in practice at least. I'm working on stuff. It's just been kind of a dry week because of other things, and I worked on the Sinatra thing. Anyway, that's my long soliloquy on basically I've done much ado about nothing so far in the last day or so.
Now, I just will make one comment on that. Is like those kind of people, it really ticks me off, because I am a successful black male who I started a business doing catering, and which is successful, and the left just want to see me as a victim. So I get shit from the left, like, oh well, like I came from the hood, I came from a single mother. I know I worked hard, I educated myself, and I made it out of poverty. I did this myself. I own my own car, I own my own house, I own everything that I have right now because I decided not to be a victim. And then you have people like this, like, oh no, you have to be a victim. You have to be this way because you're this skin color. Like, no, I don't. You telling me to be this way, which is actually racist. It's like, because you are this color, you have to be this, or because no, I am black. I I'm like a child, so you have to cuddle me to actually help me out. Black American can't, help himself out or make himself better. They have to have, somebody to help them out. It's absolutely mad. It's drives me up a wall. It truly does.
Yeah, there's one thing.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, one of the things that she said early on was she also did this sort of like humble bragging thing where she just sort of like offhandedly mentioned, so when I went to my AP classes, and I'm like, wait, you got into advanced placement classes? Okay, so you were very smart in disadvantaged situation. Okay, great. That's great. When I went to my AP classes and I was the only girl there who was brown and I had clothes and things that weren't as good as the other kids, I knew what the message was. I don't belong. And I'm like, no. You are imparting that message on yourself. Otherwise, you'd be telling us how you were insulted or talked down to or anything. Because throughout her entire talk, every time that she talks about something horrible being thought of about her, it's either something she's interpreting from someone else's ambiguous action or something that she's imparting on herself internally because of what she sees or wants to like get down on herself over, when she's describing all these people helping her and going out of their way and bending over backwards to guide her or help her up or whatever else. So it's like, take pity on me because I look the way I do and I came from where I came from class-wise, but don't pity me because I'm independent. Like, no, make up your mind. Either you're a victim or you're not. And if you say that you're where you're at because of your own efforts, at one point I say, in my script, I said, hey, good for you. You've got your own house. You got your own family. You got your own car. You're going for a master's. You came from very difficult beginnings. That you are, good for you, honestly. But then she goes to all this pity me stuff. I'm like, what? Which is it? So did you actually earn any of this stuff, or is this stuff? Was this all handed to you? It's like, come on.
This is the funny thing. I see the same thing from the alt-right. The exact same thing. With like and I made a joke 3 months ago. We say we was Vikings, and they fucking ran with it. The alt-right ran with it.
Oh God!
Like, somebody like tweeted me like, "Yo, said did he make this joke like a couple months ago?" And it was some alt-right chick tweeting about like we was Vikings, we was Egyptians. I like, that was a joke. That wasn't supposed to be meant to take seriously.
Oh man!
And I see like we were both great, but we also need the government to come help us out. But we also amazing, but also know this white genocides. Also, we built the pyramids. Like, what the fuck? We went from we was Canes to we were Vikings. You literally like it's BLM all over again. You guys built the pyramid. Come on. That's my whole spear. Like BLM, like we was great, but also help me, but also don't feel bad for me because we was kings. To we was Egyptians, we was Vikings. We were amazing conquerors, and also pity me. I fucking hate it on both sides. Like
I pointed out a few times, and you guys can look this up in historical accuracy. The idea that Black people cannot do anything on their own goes all the way back to slavery. It was one of the arguments against releasing slaves, is that they could not do anything without their masters. Mm-hmm. And to see especially the left, I mean, the alt-right doing it, that kind of makes sense. They admit to being, well, they don't admit to being racist, but you got your white nationalists over there. But these people who are, I believe, genuinely think they're doing the right thing, don't even see that they're actually saying Black people too dumb to make it on their own. They need whitey.
Yeah, it's benevolent. It's benevolent.
So fucking racist.
Yeah, it's benevolent backhanded racism. If you're saying like, okay, as an inherent component of what you look like, or if you want to also add the class thing into there, because of these, or that you make the assumption that because of what you look like, you also come from a specific class, which is racist. That I'm going to do what I can to admit my flaw of inherent privilege, which is just saying I have white power and I need to use it to help out the underdog, which is anybody who isn't white. It is the exactly what you're talking about. They can't do anything without their masters. You're changing the words. You're changing in your own mind the intention, but then you're just being like the benevolent plantation owner. It's like, well, I'm one of the good ones. I treat my slaves well. That isn't how it works, guys.
Yes.
Jesus. Drives me up the wall.
I've never got a good answer from a leftist on that point. They tend to just shy away. Before we leave YouTube time, I did want to bring up our own Weibo Jones. If you guys haven't seen Weibo Jones' latest video, go check it out. Weibo drops a rap diss track.
Oh, yeah. Pardon me.
I will tell you the audio is a little messed up if you're listening on a stereo device. It's only her voice is only going to come out of the left side. I first listened to it on my phone, and it sounded fine, but you will only hear her voice out of one side.
Are you saying that Weibo's voice is from the left?
It is.
Weibo.
She's an SJW. Confirmed.
You've gone totally to the left, Weibo. Oh my god.
I did love the track though. It was great. You did a good job. You were harsh to Matt, man.
Oh yeah. Shit.
Monday, Matt. You fucking destroyed Matt. That was awesome.
Okay. Well, let's see. We are technically into deep topic time, and you said you wanted to talk about 1984.
Oh, I did want to bring up the meme. The 1984 was not a how-to guide. It was a warning.
Yes, exactly.
And the number of people who mentioned 1984 who seem to like be striving for it just blows my fucking mind. I've seen SJWs warn about 1984. I'm like, do you understand what that book was even about? It wasn't just about Donald Trump becoming president, for fuck's sake.
Thank you, Cryptic. Is Weibo middle cheek now? Oh.
That would make her a butthole. That's not cool.
Yeah, don't do that. No, unless you want to switch it around and say, you know, like from Total Recall, she's like middle breast.
She's little clit.
Oh.
Whoa. No.
Yeah. So I think that was what Point Curation's point in doing that ad is that, you know, citing 1984 as, oh, look, this is what we're living under because of Trump now. But at the same time, like you say, being completely oblivious to exactly what that book was saying and what a lot of people are advocating for or fighting for, quote unquote, that just, again, it's one of those things where it's like, if you would just stop and switch the words around of what you are saying or what you are proposing and come to the same conclusion as the stuff in 1984. Or if you're saying something about race, if you just flip white with black and half the things people are saying, you wouldn't say that to save your life because that would be racist. It's just, I don't get it. But yeah, 1984, if you are advocating for editing the past by taking out of statues or saying that this is bad or anything else, we can't talk about things that were bad. We can't have any memorials to things that maybe we don't appreciate now like they were back then when they were put there. If you're trying to suppress speech you don't agree with, violently or otherwise, but especially violently, don't you see the guidebook that you have in your hand when it's supposed to be a warning against it? Exactly. It's just...
I just don't understand how they missed the point of the book. I really don't.
SDA, what do you think? You've been really quiet.
About 1984 and missing the point of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually haven't personally read it.
Oh.
So...
Is it discussed at all in any of your classes?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure it's not these days.
That's probably true.
Yeah, I've never read it. It's never been like required reading or anything like that.
It's a good book.
So
I would recommend. I read it twice. I read the book twice.
Yeah, I've been meaning to read it. I just haven't. I guess.
You know what reminds me of the Big Brother thing that just happened the other day, the Equifax leak.
Oh, yeah.
Or hack, I should say. I mean, you want to talk about entities amongst us that have a control without our permission or consent over our lives, safety, and livelihood. You've got these three credit reporting agencies that, whether we want them to or not, possess such information on us that could be used against us to destroy our lives, basically, if somebody got a hold of it and misused it. and yet we have no recourse. And when these hacks happen now, I mean, honestly, I was talking to a friend of mine about this. I told him, "Did you hear about the Equifax hack?" And they said, "Yeah, but hasn't this happened like 20 times now, where people's like information's got hacked, whether it's an insurance company or something else?" I was kind of like, "Yeah." And they said something very poignant, I think, if that's the right word, because I'm an English major. How is a hack of this kind of information any different than a hurricane now? It's a force of nature. You have no control, and there's nothing you can do about it. And I was like,
Yep.
you're absolutely right. It is commonplace, and it is a threat to your life, and you have no control. And given that it's a man-made thing, that's even scarier.
Well, yeah, because there's nothing you can do about it besides just kind of be dead.
You can go to their site and see if you were part of the problem.
Right.
Piccolo brought up something in chat that I was going to mention too. Said that they SJWs need to stop trying to combine 1984 with Animal Farm. I think Animal Farm is almost as important as 1984. I really do.
Yes.
And I actually argued with one leftist one time who told me that was actually a pro-communism book. And I'm like, I don't think you read it right.
Yeah, no.
I don't think you read it correctly.
Did you ever see the cartoon movie?
I have not.
Oh, the cartoon version of it obviously isn't the book or anything, but it has all the major points and notions in it, and it's great. Anybody who's got like an hour, I think it's only like an hour, 45 minutes or something like that. You can probably find it on YouTube now. If you can find the Animal Farm cartoon, for those of us with the shorter attention spans or only can do stuff at work, watch that sucker, because it really lays down all the same things that we see people essentially protesting for today.
Mm-hmm.
And, four legs good, two legs bad. All animals are equal, except some animals are more equal than others. Like I say, flip out the words with the other concepts we have going today. It's exact same thing.
We did read The Giver.
Okay. I love that book.
Which I loved that book. There are a couple of books in school that I distinctly remember reading that I absolutely loved, and that was one of them. And it's, like I said, I haven't read 1984, but it's kind of one of those dystopian books.
Well, what's The Giver about for anybody who hasn't read it?
Well, I was getting there, but
oh, sorry.
It basically examines. So basically, in the society, everybody is kind of unaware of what's happening, and they give them drugs to make it so that they're unaware of what happens, and so that they're just kind of mindless pieces in in the machine. And it's basically an examination of, there's freedom and then there's safety, and you can only have one, basically. So it's interesting.
I just wanted to highlight this from Jordan because I thought it was funny.
We was Vikings.
With the Viking symbol from the football team. I think that's awesome.
Vikings.
They got so mad over that video.
That's funny as shit, dude. Oh my God. I don't have anything else on this topic. I really do think it's weird how they don't understand what that book actually meant.
No, and that's a major problem. Is people like, it's gonna be like 1984, and I just don't think the left know what a dictionary is or what words mean anymore. That's what I honestly believe. Like 1984, it was a specific meaning to this book, and like, oh yeah, Donald Trump, because he's a fascist. Like how? Like even when we call him a Hitler or not, like he's clearly not none of these things. Like if anything, he's the exact opposite.
I've mentioned this several times in my videos. Words mean what they need them to mean. Period.
Yeah, I mean, talking about 1984, saying this is like 1984, it's sort of like celebrity name dropping. It's like a replacement for actual knowledge or critique or commentary on what's going on. If I can say, if I can quote one line out of Shakespeare or something, I sound really smart, even if it's out of context and nobody knows it to reference it. I can sound like I'm on top of things or that I'm really insightful. If I say, oh, what's happening is just like 1984, and like, oh, well, because Orwell's so well esteemed and 1984 is such a classic book, and it's so thick and intellectual and hard to grasp the concepts of, and it's so it's so, for lack of a better phrase, cryptic that if you know what you're talking about, you must be really smart. No. I mean, either you know what you're talking about or you don't. Just name dropping books or authors or concepts or words you don't know the definitions to. You don't sound smart only to people that aren't smart.
Yeah, I totally agree. I had somebody who told me he was getting. I have a Nissan Altima, and he didn't want to get in the back seat because he said I'm claustrophobic. I like, no, you're not. Like, I don't like being in small spaces. Like, you know what phobia means? Yeah, it's something I don't like. That's and we went back and forth for about 10 minutes. Like, that's not what phobia means. Phobia means fear. It's Latin. We're like, well, no, we can disagree to agree. We have words to disagree to agree. Like, yes, the words called yes and no and wrong and right. We already have these words.
Thank you, Sanguine. Add memory holes and the new and improved mini truth. Okay.
It sounds like my life. Memory holes.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, Sanguine. I'll put that on the list next to the psychic serial killer hex machine. Those are gonna be fun. But anyway, guys, this is the bottom of the hour and the last half hour of the show. It is chat time. So if you have questions for us, and especially for our guest, please post them to the chat with enough question marks that we know it's a question. Thank you, Cryptic. I don't understand why leftist Westerners love communism so much. People will always end up dead and poor. Trust us who were born into it. Oh, so yeah, Cryptic knows. Cryptic's Asian. He knows what's up with communism.
Oh, dear God. Terry Diamandis said, I think Jeff Holiday is a fan of memory holes.
Oh, memories holes.
Well played. Well played. The reason
gross.
That's not gross. I'm sure he does love it. Anyway,
y'all are gross.
Westerners who love communism just don't actually pay attention. They're very much like the hurricane folks I was talking about. Don't look at history. This is how it works on paper.
Right. Yeah. How many people have been genocided by communist regimes? Think about that one before you talk about Nazis next. Just saying. Weibo says, how do I record audio via my recording hardware so that it's not janky when I drop my next diss track? Send help. I don't know. Well, we got to work on your levels. I don't know what software you're using, but the music was a bit too loud over the sound of the vocal track. So you want to make that less than the vocal track so that you still retain the beat, but you can be heard over it. And then as far as like how you split it between the two channels, again, I don't know what you're using, but I think there's a way to unify the two tracks together into a stereo, but I'm not that technically inclined.
Yeah, did you do it all on one layer of audio?
Hmm.
Academic Cub said layer the audio. That would be the other thing to do. And depending, it could also be what kind of mic you're using. If you're using a directional mic and you were kind of dancing around as you were singing, that will change the audio. You need to stand right in front of it. An array mic, I don't like array mics, but that would pick it up better if you're moving around.
The next 6 minutes asked, would you eat a lemonade flavored hamburger?
Yes.
No.
I would try it, but if it's going to make my face implode, I wouldn't finish it.
I see something like that. I would just have lemonade, and then I would have a hamburger that tastes like a hamburger.
Weibo says, I did it with GarageBand and a Scarlett Studio. That's all I got. Okay, I've heard of GarageBand, never used it.
Well, do your music with GarageBand and then record yourself. I'm guessing you recorded yourself in Scarlett Audio. And I would have to look at the programs to send me your files. I would have to look at it. Sorry. I'm going to take your video and I'm going to fix it though. Fix that shit.
Yeah. Let's see. If you still have the raw files to it, you could try to play with the audio levels at least and maybe put out a revised version or something. Let's see. Academic Cub says you could do the audio with a unimic and record it static, then record the video with you bouncing around. No, and just like add just like a ADR sort of it. Yeah. And Lady Monkey's posted Clashing Ideals channel to the chat if you're too lazy to go to the description of the video. So
Thank you.
Let's see. If communism is so great, says Faith of Abdication, why do they have to force people to participate? Yes.
Communism in and of itself is not bad. It's not. It just doesn't fit humanity.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, if you could get everyone to think exactly alike, if everyone was a moral individual who thought of everyone else before themselves and didn't have any of the motivations that actually make human beings and have actually advanced civilization to where it is in the places where it is civilization, then communism could work. So it won't.
Exactly. Joseph,
Co-
what's your comfort food?
What is? Oh, damn it! I'm gonna say fried chicken. It's fried. Chicken.
What? Well, okay. Well, this is the great debate: KFC or Popeyes?
KFC.
KFC. Yes. Thank you.
Oh shit. Okay, now you and your boy Pat have to have a debate. It's just there's no way around it.
He challenges all of us who think KFC is better than. Yeah.
Cody Fry says to all of us, if you could pick a theme song for your life, what would it be?
Ooh.
I already know what mine would be. It's not a very well-known song. It's called "The Other Man" by a band called Sloan. For various reasons in my younger years, that song resonates so well with me, but that's another story.
You know, Hooked on a Feeling was such a badass thing for Guardians of the Galaxy, and it worked for them, so I'm going with that.
SDA is Hooked on a Feeling.
All right.
Mine would be Billy Joel's "My Life."
Oh, okay.
Trying to look up this. Oh, Curb Your Enthusiasm theme song.
Let's see. Jack Cochran says, if you were tied down and couldn't get up, would you rather be attacked by fire ants or have Steve Shives kiss you all over with his moist lips while he films it?
Oh God, fire ants.
Oh God, yeah, fire ants. I'll take fire ants.
Have you
That
guys?
wasn't even like. Sorry.
Have you guys saw that poll where, like, if you was on an island and you had to have one person to come on the island with you, would it be Steve Shives, Linus Sansour, or Hitler? And Hitler won.
Neti Rumi asked, did Scribe get cucked? No. I was the one who ended up making others cucked. That's as far as I'll go with that story.
Donald Repentless says he's going to have to try Popeyes now. Popeyes isn't bad. KFC is just better.
Yes, it is. I'll tell you a funny story. With the thing about the Proud Boys is a drinking club. So every time I go to the Proud Boys, I get super duper drunk. And I can tell you, like, the last meetup, it was me, like, drunkenly eating KFC naked in my bathroom.
Oh my God.
Man, you want to put that on a postcard.
When how did you come to be with the Proud Boys?
Well, Gavin made a video where it's like we don't let Nazis in the Proud Boys, because if you want to have a guy to be part of our group, I don't want to make him feel uncomfortable. And, you know, Gavin, he's very infamous for bullshitting. So, like, let me see if Gavin like bullshitting or not. So I actually was seeking the group, like, let me see, can I actually join the Proud Boys? And the very first day when I joined the Proud Boys, I've been welcomed with open hands. And I actually went up the ranks extremely quick, where I'm right under the highest rank you can get in the Proud Boys. Because you have the 4 degrees, and then you have 2 more degrees, secret degrees, which the Proud Boys don't know of. That's it has. So like the Proud Boys is just drinking clubs. Like, we was in Vegas this week. And if it wasn't for Hurricane Irma, we would have made the news. We made a couple articles, but we would have made the news. And I should have brought this article earlier. And this is probably the greatest headline for the Proud Boys. Proud Boys pepper spray protester from their car. Police let them go away. Afterwards, Proud Boys hit a police car.
You guys hit a police car?
We hit a police car and got away with it.
How'd you hit a police car?
Well, apparently Latifah was protesting us, so they pepper sprayed the truck, and so we pepper sprayed them back, and they got arrested. And no, we trying to get away. We hit a cop car by accident, but no, like it was by accident. Like those pepper sprayed us. No, we sorry. So like Latifah got arrested, and we got away scot free.
Netrarumi says, "Are you a wizard yet?" Well, when I hear degrees and stuff, I think of like the old Aleister Crowley, like Golden Dawn sort of degrees of enlightenment kind of stuff. I mean, do you have some kind of like authority or powers in the organization depending on what your level is?
First degrees is basically just run work. It's like anybody can be a first degree. To a degree, you got to another Proud Boy. It's like if you guys told me right now, I'm a Western chauvinist who refused to apologize for creating the modern world, you be a first degree because I'm in the chat right now. And then second degrees, you have to have 5 Proud Boys to beat up on you as you say 5 cereal brands.
Like actually beat you in?
Yeah, like actually beat you in like a gang. Like
Nice.
Were you beat in?
Yeah, and the funny thing was somebody say like who want to beat up a black guy? Like I fucking knew it someone would make the damn joke.
Oh Jesus!
That video would go viral.
It would.
Yeah.
A bunch of white guys with Trump hats beat up on the black guy.
Let's see. Jack Cochran says they're Masons. Illuminati confirmed.
Basically, with alcohol problems. Yes.
Yeah, Masons and alcohol. Well, that's saying something. Questions, guys. We got about 20 minutes. So if you have any questions for us or for our guest or about stuff going on, or if you have any updates that I'm just missing from what's going on at Berkeley, because I'm not watching any.
Ooh, beat in better than beat off. That's actually pretty funny. So the interview I had recently, this is this dumb rule Gavin made up called no wanks. And it's basically when you become second degrees, you're supposed to like not stop masturbating. So we call it it's called no wanks. So every time I get an interview, it's like, so what is this no wanks? Like, shit. You always bring up no wanks. Like, why did Gavin have to make this dumb rule about masturbation? Because they always ask about no wanks.
I want to come back to no wanks in a minute. The next 6 minutes ask if you were able to donate a month's worth of food to a starving child in Ecuador, but you had to display busts of SJWs in your bedroom for 2 years. Would you do it? Yeah, I would feed a child if I had to look at ugly people. I have no problem with that. What is with all of the organizations and people like the Golden One did his videos and no jacking off, although he'll let you jack off, just not to porn. What is with the whole no wanking it?
It's so
I don't get it.
It's a curious phenomenon. I think is the thing about Gavin. Gavin wanted you guys to go out there, find a girl, start a family, have as many kids as possible. So the rule is for no wanks is you can masturbate, but you have to be 6 feet near a female.
Does it have to be?
Sorry, baby.
Does it have to be in the same room?
Same room as you masturbate. Same room, 6 feet away.
Oh, at least. Okay.
At least. And like, yeah, this is like the dumbest rules ever. So like I said,
okay.
Do I do no wanks?
Yeah, I was about to say, do you follow these rules? Is it like?
Well,
I mean, I don't want to get too personal or anything. I'm just like, this is amazing.
I'll get personal.
I've never heard of this. Yeah.
Jacket.
Unfortunately, my life is so busy. I'm no wanks by default. Because I literally work like 5 days a week at my job, 40 hours overtime, and I do YouTube, and then I have all my Proud Boy stuff.
Wait. I mean, like masturbation is like Jello. There's always room for it. I mean, I don't know. Okay,
yeah, that's a good question. Jack Cochran asked, does she have to know you're whacking it? Can she be asleep and you're just over her head?
Oh, Jesus.
I'm married, so I need to know these rules. I don't want to fuck it up.
I mean,
my wife wakes up and finds me masturbating over her face, and I need to know my excuse for that.
Like Gavin Miskin told me to.
Gavin said so.
This tweet at Gavin. I would ask, like, why is my husband is jacking off over my face at Gavin McInnes?
There we go.
Is no wanks is pretty fun. Like the degrees are funny. Like the third, first, second. I'm a third degree Proud Boy, where it's a Proud Boy tattoo, And I was being a smart ass, so I decided to get my Pride Warrior tattoo in the inner of my index finger. So every time I do the OK symbol, you can see the Pride Warrior tattoo.
Nice. For those of you who don't understand why that's funny, the OK symbol is now a racist symbol.
All right. Yeah.
It is.
Oh, Pepe.
Oh yeah.
I took a picture with Jack Plosovich at a DixieCon, and we both did the OK symbol. And of course, somebody say, "Why are both you guys doing the white power symbol in the picture?"
Oh God, I hate people.
Yeah, because it means Oklahoma. You know where all the white power comes from.
And by the way, that dude is huge. He's like 6'3".
Faith is abdicated of reason. Says pretty sure grandfathers are exempt renting. Monkey. That's right, guys. Let's put that thought into your head. I'm a grandpa and I've wanked it. How you like that?
Bars. Barfity barf bar.
I'm still a young grandpa.
Somebody put in Gavin McGinnis told me to excuse to tell the cops at the subway station.
Jack Cochran, oh you fucker. Guys, do we have questions here?
Yeah,
we have a guest you can ask
jerking off. Yeah, we have a guest and everything.
I just want to point out for the record, this time I didn't bring up the dirty topic. It wasn't me.
That's true. That's true. Which is, what's wrong with you today? You okay?
Yeah. I just didn't get there yet.
Okay.
Oh wow. New story on Ben Shapiro. Weapons arrested at Berkeley. Admitted planned speech for conservative Ben Shapiro. So they got weapons. Tifa's being arrested right now.
They say what kind of weapons?
Yeah, they got weapons.
I mean, what kind of weapons do they say?
Let's see. Like, what weapons do you need for like a 5'6" Jew who don't work out?
A bike lock and a bag. I mean, it doesn't take much.
It wouldn't be hard to take out Ben Shapiro. He's not a big guy.
All you gotta do is show him a negative bank balance. He'll.
Oh.
That's a Jew joke for you guys out there who didn't get that one.
Because he's a Jew.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the joke of how copper wire was made?
Yes. Two Jews arguing over a penny.
Oh, Jesus.
The problem is, I've been on alt-right live streams, like multiple alt-right live streams, so I have all these horrible Jewish jokes. Are just like super fucked up that I should not know.
Give me one. Do it. Please.
So it was making fun of Donald Trump. So this thing called going out and going out. So say right now Donald Trump he was going out and he's Jewing in, and like right now Macron he was Jewing out and now he's going in. And so it's like,
oh my God.
Yes. So it's like I hear some of the most fucked up like anti-Semitic things at like a lot of these live streams, and I laugh at it, which is really, really messed up.
See, like, but I'm still of the opinion the more horrible the joke, the funnier it tends to be. And I've talked about this many times. When you go back to the 80s, when the PC police started beating down our door, part of what was helping with racism at the time was the fact that jokes were jokes. You could tell a joke and everybody would laugh at the absurdity of the stereotype, not because you believe in the fucking stereotype.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not what makes
which you did, which you really didn't help with your chicken thing. I just want to throw that out there.
It's a joke with the Proud Boys, because like a lot of times they're like, "What you doing right now?" Like eating KFC, like you're safe. It's a joke right there. Like I know, but what the fuck is wrong with eating chicken? Like I can't wait for the day. Like watermelon is delicious. Somebody in the chat asked me, "What about watermelon?" I fucking love watermelon.
Who doesn't like watermelon?
Like I'm waiting for the day for like watermelon chicken to give me like a fucking like oh, you do want to advertise for watermelon chicken? Like hell yeah! Like for like fucking love both those things. Those things are awesome. Who doesn't like
watermelon flavored chicken?
Ew.
Whoa. Okay, never mind then.
That just doesn't even sound. I've never understood the whole chicken and watermelon thing. I don't understand why that's an insult. Chicken is good.
Like I dare somebody to give me a bucket of chicken. Like
I dare you to feed me.
I just don't understand why that's racist.
There's some I know I read it somewhere where the origin of that with the connotation of that and everything else comes from a long time. I mean, you can look it up. I'm sure it's there's some like etymology of how that arose.
Like I wonder, like was it like some National Geographic like, oh, oi, look at the Negro out there eating the chicken. Oh my God, he's really enjoying it. I do declare.
Crikey!
Oh, crikey! As you see, the Negro have the larger lips to be able to get the bone marrow off the top and the bottom of the chicken leg.
Oh, this is a serious question. Are there chickens in Africa?
I went to Africa. No animals are safe in Africa. None of them.
They eat everything. Well, they kind of have to, don't they?
My neighbor, which I'm like 6 inches taller than my neighbor, because I'm in South Africa, went out with a bow and arrow and came back with a zebra.
Jesus.
Damn.
And they was cooking the zebra up in the back of a mail truck. Like they modify a mail truck, so they got like a fire in the bottom of a mail truck, and they're cooking the zebra. And I'm freaking out because like I have killed like chickens and deers before, but like this is a zebra. Like this is like some Lion King shit right here. Like what is going on? And they all
how'd it taste?
I didn't taste it. I was too freaked out.
Okay.
Like I did not see not one animal in Africa. All the animals was like basically gone. Africans eat everything. Nothing is safe in Africa.
Well, I figure they're kind of like rednecks. They have to eat whatever they can get a hold of.
They are rednecks. It's like South Africa is the most redneck African country ever. A fucking lion was walking down the street downtown Johannesburg at night. And everybody was like, oh, it's a lion. I mean, a lion is just walking down the street. Yeah, it happens sometimes.
No, that you need to get that lion away.
No, that happens in South Florida with alligators. It's just like, oh, there's an alligator. Nah, whatever.
Oh, did they ever find out where that random tiger came from that we saw that story on? Or like the
I
zoo
don't
said,
know, because like I'm in Atlanta and I haven't heard about it. So
yeah, the zoo said no, we have all of our tigers. So it's like a tiger appeared out of nowhere and like started running down in people's homes and they had to kill it. And I was just like, where did it come from? Let's see.
Sure, name of Harambe.
The tiger named Harambe.
You know what's messed up? I saw a silhouette of Harambe, and I recognized like is that Harambe? Like, why do I recognize this one Pacific monkey?
Mustafa the Savage, of all people, says, wasn't there a Val Kilmer movie about that? Yeah, The Ghost in the Darkness was about the legend of two man-eating lions in South Africa in I think the 1800s. It's actually a really good movie. Special effects can be a little shaky at times, depending, but yeah. But it wasn't about so much like Africans will eat anything. It was more like a couple of lions will eat people.
Yeah. Lions are huge. Animals in Africa are different than animals in the zoo. Like I was in Israel and I saw a goat, and I was never been so terrified in my life.
Well, I've talked to several people who have come here from like Somalia and Zambia and Zaire and places like that. And I've always asked them. I said, "Well, what's one thing you miss from back home?" And almost to a one, the first thing they say is, "It's better there. Everything here is processed. A carrot doesn't taste like a carrot," and things like that. And I'm just like, God, I can't. I mean, you were over there.
I will agree with that.
Taste naturally better. You don't think so?
I will agree with that statement.
Okay.
The beef is more flavorful. The fruits are more juicy. When I was in Israel, I'll say this is one time where racism saved my life. I smuggled back a box of mangoes and 7 bottles of wine. And I was going through customs, and they was flagging every white person on the plane, and they saw me and just kind of flagged me in, like get back in America, let's go. They didn't check my bag, none of that shit. I had like seeds, I had a bunch of mangoes, had like a bunch of bottles of like illegal wine that was like unmarked, like made like some Muslim like in the back, like in the mountains and shit. So everything's better up there. Like the food is better, just the fruit is better, it's more flavorful. The spices are better. Ethiopian food from an Ethiopian in Africa is much better than Ethiopian over here. It's just so flavorful. Like if Africa wasn't so dangerous, I would have lived there.
Do you think
Yeah,
maybe
I
they've
was
made our food not as good, so to try to keep Americans from eating so much?
It was failing.
Because we already eat too much in it, and if it tasted better, I think we would just kill ourselves. Back to your diabetes ad.
yeah.
I have a question for you. It sounds like you've traveled quite a lot. How did that come to be? Is it just a hobby or work or?
My father was the kind of person where he said, the more you're exposed to the world, the better off you are. So I've been up, and my father, he invested a lot of money of me traveling. So I've been to London, been to Switzerland, I've been up and down Africa, I've been to the Middle East, which is it's a shithole. And like I traveled through Europe and Africa mostly.
What's the worst place you've been?
Egypt. Egypt sucks. Almost got arrested there.
Did you hit a cop car?
Well, look at this. I paid some guy $20 let me ride his camel. So I was riding the camel around the pyramids, and apparently that's illegal. So yeah, it's illegal to ride camels around the pyramids. So thank God it was the fast camels. Some other cops also on camels started chasing me. Luckily, I got away. I got away. It's just Egypt is a shithole. It's god awful place. It's not what you like. Oh yes, Egypt is so cultural. Like no, it's a giant marketplace where angry Muslims. And I'm kind of person where I get drunk and I get in trouble. I almost died in Israel because I pissed off a Muslim community. Like I legit went to Israel, got drunk, and told a Muslim chick, "Hey, the carpet match the drapes?"
Oh Jesus!
Oh,
and the next day they wanted to kill me. Like they were so angry with me that day. So, like, just the Middle East in general is horrible. Dubai sucks. No, Israel sucks to a degree. It's hot. Like I said, I almost died. Like they got mountain lions. Almost died from dehydration. I got stung by a Scorpio, which is not fun. Almost choked on a peach in Israel.
Oh, too tasty.
So, no, I was speaking Hebrew while I was eating the peach, and it went down my throat.
You speak Hebrew?
Yeah.
Damn. How many languages do you speak?
I speak Hebrew. Either I don't use it as often, and some Arabic, but just enough to piss off people.
Does the burqa match the sandals?
Oh man, I got in so much trouble. Oh, it was so bad. My grandfather was pissed at me.
You said did you say you're from South Africa?
No, my family's from Nigeria. And
oh wow.
Yeah. That's my last name's Ozias, is Nigerian. And thinking about my family is very rich in a bad way. So I'm descended from Africans that actually sold slaves to American. So when a lot of people say we need to give reparations, like, well, if you gotta give reparations, I don't know how much I'm gonna have to owe, because like,
being Nigerian, do you have a lot of princesses in your family who have money that they can give to people if you email them?
Oh my God, no. We just very tall for no reason. That's it. And I'm actually very short for Nigerian. I'm a watered down Nigerian. I'm only 6'2".
Just got a note from Scribe. He's having internet troubles. He says we're all roboting like hell. They're just gonna. I'm gonna need to close out the show for him. So we only have a couple more minutes here, so we'll finish up. Guys, if you have questions, please ask. I'm sorry taking over the conversation. I tend to do this when we have guests because I'm curious.
How do I sound right now?
Oh, great! I can hear you.
Sound good.
Okay, yeah. Everything was chopping and cutting out and like speeding up because it was catching up with everything else. It was horrible there for a minute. I don't know how long this is going to last. So if I suddenly disappear in the next 30 seconds, that might be, I don't know what's going on. I'm not running anything weird. I'm not having weird weather. My internet is just going completely nuts. So
Harbos asked us about the video where the little white kid gets hung. the music video, asked if we've seen it. I saw the part where the little white kid gets hung. I haven't actually listened to it at all.
Yeah, I posted that on my Facebook. Like, how can I make race relationship worse in America? And I just posted a video.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I thought it was in reference. The first time I saw the headline, I thought it was in reference to that deal where the kid got thrown off the park bench and swung 3 times, which I'm still trying to imagine the logistics of that.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, guys, we're at the top of the hour. Everybody in the chat, thank you so much for coming out tonight. All of our moderators, thanks for keeping an eye on things. Everybody who donated, thank you so much. Those ads outstanding. I will get to them between now and tomorrow night's stream. Clashing Ideals, Yosef, if I'm saying that correctly, I think I'm under.
Yosef, yes.
Yosef, thank you so much for coming out tonight. Thank you for giving us another shot after the last time where everything kind of went haywire. I really appreciate it. Great having you on.
Yeah, I enjoyed talking to you.
Likewise.
Monkey SDA, as always, thank you for joining me. Everyone, your lives make us sad. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
See you.